Many of you know in our energy statutes, we do not count certain kinds of hydroelectricity as a renewable resource. We pejoratively call it big hydro, but in reality, it is the same carbon-free renewable energy source that small hydro gives us. So members, it's time, as long as we're going to a much higher renewable standard in this state, that we allow hydro to be counted. This is common sense. The people of Minnesota have never understood it, why it's in here. And if you look, I gave you a handout from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the year 2013. This is an Obama Energy Administration document. And if you look in the right-hand column, there are some boxes highlighting the cost of various kinds of energy. And of all the renewables on this page, hydro's the lowest. It makes sense, members. And hydro has the advantage of being reliable. So it's renewable, reliable, and it's reasonably priced. It hits all three things that energy should be, members. We need a yes vote on this, and Madam President, I would like a roll call.
Roll call's been requested. Roll call granted. Is there any more discussion on the A26 amendment? Senator Marty.
Madam President, I oppose the amendment to the amendment. There are no big hydro potential facilities in Minnesota. We've kind of tapped out. I mean, there are little bits of things we might get, Coon Rapids Dam and so on. And yes, we can invest in big hydro in other countries or other states. But those are created by flooding land, which has huge environmental consequences. We're trying to get we want jobs in Minnesota. We want to focus on the Minnesota jobs. We do count the hydro that we have here. Minnesota Power has some. I think Missouri River has a small plant in Iowa there. I mean, an existing dam. They're making it into electric. There's talk about taking some of the lock and dam areas in Mississippi, potentially for small hydro facilities. But this is not a Minnesota renewable energy, and there are environmental consequences to flooding huge areas of land. I mean, China is the country in recent years that's done the most of this. They flooded huge areas of land for this. I don't think we have to copy the Chinese example on that, and I don't think we have to, I think we should just continue to promote renewables in Minnesota, and I don't think this is an amendment that is helpful to the bill.
Senator Benson.
Madam President, just a couple of quick points. Members, we buy wind from Iowa, and nobody seems overly concerned about that. We are not buying electricity from China. There are no lines going across the Pacific Ocean. This would be Manitoba Power or South Dakota Power. Canada is not destroying its environment building dams. It is thoughtfully working with the native peoples to expand its hydroelectric capacity. It is time to make this change. And you want to talk about job creation? Let's talk about job destruction. What happens when our electric rates go up? Manufacturers leave this state. Let's have a yes vote on this amendment, members.
Senator Dames.
Thank you, Madam President. And I just wanted to point out that we do have a hydro facility in one of my communities, and I think it's unfortunate that we're going to say to those people that it doesn't make any difference. We're not going to give them the credit. That community is putting, I believe it's about $3 million upgrading their hydro facility, and that's being done as a renewable source. And I think we ought to be recognizing that is a renewable source and encouraging other communities that have those opportunities. If we're going to say that this thing it's not going to happen in Minnesota, I think that's really unfair. What we're doing is we're saying that we want to promote solar, and currently there's not much solar in Minnesota, but we feel we can promote that. What we're saying is we have hydro opportunities in Minnesota, so let's give them the same opportunity. Let's promote that. That's what they're doing in one of my communities. It's working very well.
Is there any more discussion? Senator Senchum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just want to offer too as well. In my city, the municipal utility, I think built back in 1920, a hydro dam. I think it's just 4 megawatts, but nonetheless, it's 4 megawatts that we have. But More importantly, Madam Chair, I think we have to be cognizant of the future. And we, for instance, have a river here a few blocks south that, generally speaking, I suspect in the dead of the summer runs about 4 miles an hour. It's probably going faster right now, but things like submergible turbines and things like that are possibilities, and why not? You know, I think as we think to the future and we think about something that's safe, reliable, and doable, opportunities like that exist, and let's give them an opportunity to move forward. This amendment would help do that.
Senator Marty.
Madam President, I want to clarify for Senator Senjum's sake that 4 megawatt facility in Rochester is covered. So would an 8 megawatt one, so would be a 21 and a 51 and an 81. Matter of fact, everyone in Minnesota would qualify already. That's not what this amendment's about. They're already covered, they're already qualified. We don't need this amendment. I urge your rejection of it.
Is there any more discussion on the A26 amendment to the amendment? Roll call has been requested. The Secretary will take the roll. All members having voted that desire to vote, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 29 ayes and 30 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted.